that's a level 1. But you have to do both. So today we are only going to be focusing on the segment addition part, which we kind of started on Friday, and we'll get to the midpoint tomorrow. So just doing segment addition today, and then we'll save the midpoint part for tomorrow. So on the next page here, at the very top, I'm going to slide it down to the top. Can you take 30 seconds, and it says, what do you see for each image A through D? Give the correct name and match it with the correct vocabulary word. So take these 4 vocabulary words, 1, 2, 3, 4, match the vocab up to A through D, but then also give it a name. Okay, so use the correct notation to give it a name. I always go alphabetically if I can, only because I have an OCD about it being alphabetical. But you could also have this first one. So I wrote down EF. You could also write down FE, right? Could be in any order. This is AB or BA. Notice the difference on top. Okay, let's keep those the same. This is just G, one capital letter G. Did you use capital or lowercase? Because it should be capital. All capitals all the way across. And then CD. It has to be CD. That's the only one that has to be that way. So ray for this one. Point for this one, line, segment, and then the line. How'd you do? Happy Monday, right? Okay, good. That's easy enough. So then what we did on Friday is we kind of moved ahead a little bit. So if you were gone on Friday, this is kind of what we talked about. And for the most part, I think we kind of thought it was pretty easy, right? So we said if this is 7, if this length of the segment is 7, and this length of the segment is 15, what would the length of the whole segment be? And we said that would be 22. We just added them together. And that is segment addition, because you're allowed to add segments together. So that's what we wrote down here. We can take parts of a segment and they can be added together to equal the length of the total segment. So then we wrote that out. This part right here, this general equation, I'm going to underline that right there. That general equation is what gets you to a level 3. That's what gets you to the A- or level, if that's where you want to be. You have to be able to write out the general equation. Okay, so that part right there, HK plus KJ equals HJ, that's the general equation. Okay, and then the solving part, that's the level 1, level 2. So we're going to practice that part again, the general equation part. We're going to practice that again this morning before we move into a little bit more complicated problems, okay? So we're going to practice that for this picture here. So the general equation, we're going to start with the left side of the equation. So the left side of the picture, has 2 letters, HK. So we'll take those letters, HK. We'll add that together with the right side of the segment. The right side of the segment is KJ. And then that equals the full segment. So the full segment is H all the way to J. There we go. Okay, and now we substitute. Okay, and it won't say this on the actual paper. It won't say go ahead and substitute in the numbers. It won't say that, but you'll know to go ahead and put the numbers in. Okay, so for my first part, HK up above was 17. I'm going to go 17 plus, did you know a number for kj? No, so you just leave it kj. So we don't have to put in an x. You could if you wanted to. You could put x in there, but you could just leave it kj because I don't know that part. So we'll leave it as k to j equals, and then do you know what hj is? Is there a number for hj? Looking up at the picture, is there a number for hj? What's that number? What's the other number that's there? Now, you have to be careful because it's not actually on the picture, right? We wrote it on the picture, but it's up here in the directions. So hj, I'm going to sub in that 33 for that part there. So 33. Okay, and then your algebra 1 kicks in, and you know to subtract 17 from both sides to get your final answer, right? So 33 minus 17, you are going to have to do a little bit of computation today. So if you want to grab a calculator, this would be a good time to do that. You can get one up here if you need one, or you can get one from your bag. Where does that go? So grab your calculator out if you don't have one, because you're going to have to do a little bit of computation today. Okay, so 33 minus 17 is 16. Okay, hopefully we think that that's easy, right? So far, so good, right? Now, we are going to kick it up a notch because the algebra is going to get just a little bit harder. Now, the part that gets confusing is after we learn this, we're going to throw in the other type, which is midpoint, which you do something different. And that's where it gets to be a little tricky when you're trying to decide which one am I using, okay? So we're going to turn the page. We'll leave this one for tomorrow, right? Keep our midpoints for tomorrow. On in class 3, and we're going to do the problems without midpoint. So we're going to do problem number 1, but number 2 says midpoint, so we're going to save that one for tomorrow, okay? And then we'll do number 3, but then 4 says midpoint, so we'll leave that one for tomorrow as well, okay? So number 1 and number 3, and then we'll just do some practice. It'll be a super short day of notes, and then plenty of time to practice. Okay, so general equation. Don't even look up here. Don't look up here yet. Don't look up there. Write out the general equation first. So general equation being the left side plus the right side equals the whole thing. So the left side, what letters are the left side? That's E to F, right? So I'm going to write that out. EF plus, now let's go to the right side, F to G equals the whole thing. The whole thing is EG. Now down here it says reason. For the reason, you got a 50-50 chance. Okay, your reason is either segment addition or definition of midpoint. Those are the only two reasons. So when it says that reason blank, are we using this one or are we using this one? Right? So we haven't done midpoint yet, and the only time you can use midpoint is if it says midpoint. Okay, this one doesn't say midpoint, so it's segment addition postulate. Segment addition, and then I'm just going to put POST for postulate because I ran out of space. Okay, now that I have my general equation written, all you have to do is go up to this part and substitute for EF. Where's EF? EF is right here. I'm going to put x plus 3. I'm going to put that in. Then for FG, let's see, FG is this one. I'm going to put in 11 where it says FG. And then for EG, I'm going to put in 3x plus 2. Okay, so let's sub in to the equation So for EF, I'm going to put in this x plus 3. That goes right in there. So x plus 3. Plus, then FG. FG is 11. I'm going to sub that in right here. Equals. And then the last one, EG. 3x plus 2 now your algebra 1 takes over and you solve the equation. Okay, I'm going to go through that solving equation, but if you can solve that on your own, go for it. Okay, we're going to go ahead and combine these like terms over here before we go too much further. So I'll have x plus 14. Pencil doesn't like me today. 14 equals 3x plus 2. Then I'm going to subtract my 1x over to the other side. So subtract 1x from 3x, which is 2x. So I've got 14, oh my goodness, equals 2x plus 2. And then from here, it is quite possible that most of you can solve this part in your head. Right? I'm going to minus 2, and then I'm going to divide by 2, so the answer is 6. That's okay. We're not in Algebra 1 anymore, so I don't need you to show every single step of your algebra solving. Okay? But I do need you to show something. Okay? It doesn't magically solve itself. So show some sort of work. You don't have to show every single step. We subtract 2 to get 12. I want to make sure that I don't lose anybody, though. I don't know what your algebra skills are. So x equals, oh my. I don't want to use you anymore because keep breaking. X equals 6. Okay. The one thing as we move forward, this is not true for this problem, but it is true for the next problem. As we move forward, you have to make sure before I circle this and I move on to the next problem, is that what I actually wanted you to find? Okay, and it'll say right here, it says find x. Okay, I found x. Good, check, check. On the next one that we're going to do, which is right below, it does not say find x. It says find kj. Oh, kj is right here. That's not what it's asking for. So we'll work through the problem, and then we're going to get something a little bit different at the very end. So I'm going to give you a minute. Try to start this one on your own. See how you do. Then we'll come back together and just make sure we feel comfortable. Okay, I get you.
So
Just be this.
Oh wait,
Minus. So then.
no,
Oh.
so
One
KJ is
here.
2x plus 6 and
Subtract.
add
And you get 7. Right? Which is the right answer. So this is the 1x. That's how you got that 1x, which is right. And then you just minus the 6. Yeah. Yeah, you actually got that. That's a different way to do it, but that's okay. So now, right? Okay, so you're doing good. X equals 7. That's correct. But we're putting it in for H. What you did. Okay, so we want to set up HJ. Okay, so HJ is the whole thing. So we use the whole thing and add it inside the box. Does that make sense? Yes, you just kind of have them in an order. Yeah. Yes. The right track. Okay. Coming back around here. Yes. Yes. Yeah. So you could make that 13 here if you want. You can do it because you make sure. Equals. And then 5x. So you keep it small. And subtract it. Because it's positive. Okay. So HK, KJ, perfect. I love this. Now HK, you come up with 5x plus 20. Does that make sense? Yeah, so we're just gonna switch a few things around. Okay, that was great. Now, did I have to make some changes and help you out? Yes, but you tried it and we talked about it, and if you had to change it, that's okay. Mistakes just happen, and fixing the mistakes and talking about those mistakes, that's when you learn, okay? So now, let me show you a couple things. Let's just put a number here, using my pencil that's not being nice to me, but we're gonna use it. So let's just pretend. So forget everything about this problem. Let's just pretend. Let's pretend that this is 10 and this is 4. Okay, so the whole thing would be 14. You with me? Okay, so some of us, when we wrote down our general equation, we said don't write this down, HJ plus HK. Now let's look at the visual. I'm a visual person, so I like to look at the visual. If you said HJ plus HK equals, you're saying that 14 plus 10 equals 4? You see how that doesn't make sense, right? So when you write your general equation, make sure that you're doing the little part plus the little part to equal the whole thing. So the little part here, start at this letter, go into the middle. So HK, so start at the left, go into the middle. So left to the middle, plus repeat that same letter, then go to the end, equals, and now give me the two sides. So H to J. Okay, once you get that, then it's just plugging in. So make sure when you look up that you plug them into the right place, because these are not in order. Last time, it was the first one plus the next one equals the last one, and it was like easy peasy, right in order. This one on purpose was not in order to kind of make sure you were paying attention. And it's okay if we caught you, because that's what we were trying to do. So 5x plus 20, that's going to go in for HJ, which is all the way at the end. Okay? So HK, if you look up here, right there, there's our HK. All right, so we're going to go 4x plus 7. Then our KJ, that's here. And then our full thing, that's our 5x plus 20. All right, so if I combine my like terms over here, 4 and 2 is 6 x's. 7 and 6 is 13. Switch over here. Equals, and then 5x plus 20. Then we subtract the smaller. So if it's been a while since you've done Algebra 1, right, because we had over the summer, we're going to take the smaller x value and move it. So because this smaller x value is positive, we're going to subtract. So minus the 5x from both sides. You can write it right underneath if you need to, but you don't have to. So x plus 13 equals 20. Subtract that 13 from both sides, and you get x equals 7. Okay, then I didn't tell you where to go from there, but some of you knew where to go, which is great. You don't have to know where to go because I'm going to tell you. Okay, now the next step, it doesn't say find x, right? It says find kj. So what we're going to do is take our answer that we got and put it back in to the kj expression. Okay, so kj, let's find kj. That's this one. So we're going to take our answer of 7 and plug it back in. So we're going to take 2 times 7 plus 6. So let me write that out. So the second part is because we have to find kj, kj is going to equal 2 times 7 plus 6. Okay, and some of us are super fast at mental math and some of us aren't, and that's okay. That's what calculators are for. Right? My 5-year-old often says, hey, Mom, what's 467 times 432? I don't know. Ask Echo. I don't know. Because I don't want to do all that math in my head, but he's like doing it in school. So he's like, yeah, let's do all this multiplication in our head. And I think, why? I can just do it in the calculator. So it's okay to pick up a calculator, type that in, but you should get 20. So KJ is 20. Right? That's it. That's all I'm requiring you to be able to do today. We're going to practice that. You have a couple of problems like that. I am going to add in, I didn't write this down, but did you write segment, addition, postulate? Let's throw that in there. Segment, addition, postulate. Okay, so now we jump over to our homework packet. And the rest of the time is for you to make sure that you really get this before we throw something in and confuse you a little bit more, okay? So this is in class 3. So in class 3 matches up with homework 3. Okay, these match up. And the first couple of ones are not difficult. There's a little bit of previous material. There's some numerical forms. And then we're going to jump into the ones that actually have some algebra. Actually, I think today is all numeric. So let's add one on there. So on the front side, I think I wrote this up here. Geometry. 1 through 5. And number 8. So 8 is the one where you actually get to see some algebra. So 1 through 5 and 8. And then we'll do the midpoint ones tomorrow. We should easily be able to finish this today in class. Got about 10 minutes, but I don't know that it'll take you more than 10 minutes. So there you go. Also, sorry, and then I'll be quiet. Also remember that on the back side of the homework, there's answers. So after you do question, I think it's 2. Question 2, whatever you get for question 2, that number should be here. So if you're getting an answer for 2 and 3 and 4 that is not up here, go back and try again or ask.